Living next to an HOA when you own a small farm is like raising chickens beside a pack of foxes. No peace, only peering eyes and nosy complaints. I'd moved here thinking community meant good neighbors, but to these people it meant free inspection rights. Every week, I'd catch board members leaning over my fence arguing about property value and aesthetic balance, as if strawberries growing in rows could trigger a neighborhood crisis. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Karen, the HOA president, was the queen of them all. Armed with sunglasses too big for her face and a clipboard she treated like a royal decree. She'd stroll past my garden, pretending to check soil runoff, but always lingered by the strawberry patch, eyeing the red ones like they owed her rent. I didn't mind the curiosity at first until my harvest numbers started slipping. At first, I blamed birds, then kids, then myself for maybe miscounting. But the gaps got worse. Whole sections of ripe berries vanished overnight, stems torn, leaves crushed. Even my scarecrow started looking suspicious. I decided to run a small experiment, rearranged a few rows, marked some berries with harmless dye, and set up a tiny camera near the fence post. A week later, I had my answer. The footage showed a shadow moving like clockwork after midnight. But it wasn't a raccoon, it was Karen, robe, slippers, and all, tiptoeing with a flashlight, whispering to herself like she was on a secret mission from God. She plucked berries with both hands, filled her tote bag, and even sampled a few on the spot, humming as if she were at a luxury tasting event. I stared at the footage, half laughing, half furious. She wasn't just stealing fruit, she was addicted. By morning, she'd smile and wave from her yard as if nothing happened, strawberry juice staining her fingers like a guilty badge. I didn't confront her yet, not until I had enough evidence to make her choke on her own lies. What she didn't know was that her nightly snack trips were about to turn into a full-blown scandal that even her HOA status couldn't save her from. Before we dive in deeply, please comment what country or city you're watching this story from. We'd like to know how far this story travels. I'm going to pin the first 10 comments. I finally decided to confront her one breezy afternoon when I caught her lingering near the fence again, pretending to admire the sunset. I wiped the dirt off my hands, walked up, and said plainly, "Karen, we both know you've been taking my strawberries." Her head jerked toward me, eyes wide with false outrage. "Excuse me? Are you out of your mind?" She snapped. "Why would I steal your dirty little berries? I buy all my produce organic." I gave a small nod, unfazed. "Maybe you do. But next time you sneak into my patch at midnight, you might want to bring gloves. You left prints all over the posts, and that flashlight reflection? Pretty clear on camera." Karen folded her arms, forcing a laugh that sounded a little too sharp. "You can't go around accusing people of theft without evidence. That's defamation, and I can sue you for it." I smiled faintly. "You can try, but before you do, just know those strawberries aren't even ready for harvest yet. I've been treating them with some strong fertilizers and minerals. Perfectly safe when ripe, but not so much if eaten raw. I'd hate to see anyone get sick." Her expression shifted, just for a second, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. But then she scoffed. "Nice scare tactic. Next time, maybe wash your fruit better." She spun on her heels and marched off, heels crunching the gravel, pretending she'd won the argument. I stood there for a moment, watching her go, my gut twisting with equal parts anger and disbelief. She wasn't just stubborn, she was reckless. I'd warned her, fair and square. But people like Karen didn't listen until reality smacked them harder than pride ever could. For a few days, everything went quiet. My cameras showed no movement, and the berries ripened undisturbed. I thought maybe the warning had gotten through. But then, one morning, my neighbor knocked on my door, looking uneasy. "Did you hear?" he said. "Karen just passed out. Something about food poisoning. They say it might have been strawberries." I froze, staring past him at my quiet field. I didn't know whether to feel guilty or vindicated, because deep down I already knew exactly where those strawberries came from. The neighborhood was buzzing like a hornet's nest. Everyone had a different version of what happened to Karen, but the one thing they all agreed on was that she'd been found barely conscious on her kitchen floor, surrounded by bowls of half-eaten strawberries. I didn't want to believe it at first, but when I saw the paramedics' truck outside her house, the truth was hard to deny. The next day, word slipped out that the doctors had figured it out. Karen hadn't been poisoned by some mystery contaminant. She'd simply overdosed on unripe fruit and fertilizer residue. Her system couldn't handle the minerals meant to protect the plants before harvest. It wasn't fatal, but it was bad enough to put her in a hospital bed for a week. Part of me felt sorry for her, briefly. Then I remembered the arrogance, the denial, the threat to sue me for defamation. The woman had practically asked for trouble, and trouble had answered. When she got out, she was quieter than usual, which made me think maybe the scare had humbled her. I was wrong. A few mornings later, I walked out to find an envelope taped to my front gate. Inside were legal papers. Karen was suing me for negligence, contamination, and emotional distress. I actually laughed out loud. She had the audacity to claim I'd knowingly grown toxic fruit that endangered community members. Nowhere in her statement did she admit trespassing or theft. According to her, I'd invited her to taste the strawberries during her HOA inspections. The gall of that woman could power an entire city. I called my lawyer immediately. "We're not just defending," I told him. "We're countering." I handed him the footage, the timestamps, and the photos of footprints I'd saved from my field. He raised an eyebrow, smiled, and said, "She's about to regret this." By the time the court date rolled around, the neighborhood had split into two sides, Team Karen and Team Common Sense. People whispered, speculated, and waited for the storm to break. And I'll admit, I was waiting too. Because if Karen thought she could spin this story in her favor, she had no idea what was coming next. Court day came on a cloudy Thursday, and honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better backdrop. The sky looked ready to rain on someone's parade, and I was praying it'd be hers. Karen walked into the courtroom wearing a neck brace she clearly didn't need, holding a tissue like a stage prop. Her lawyer looked confident, but that confidence started cracking the moment my attorney began laying out the evidence. First came the photos of her footprints in the soft soil behind my fence. Then the video, clear as day, showing Karen in her robe and slippers, flashlight in one hand, plucking strawberries with the other, like she was auditioning for a midnight cooking show. The judge raised an eyebrow as the footage played. Karen's face drained of color, and her lawyer shifted uncomfortably in his seat. When she tried to speak, her voice trembled. "That's not me. Those videos could have been edited," she protested. But my attorney was ready. He produced time-stamped footage from multiple nights, plus the security report showing her car parked near my property. Then came the cherry on top, a witness statement from a neighbor who'd seen her walking home one night, hands full of strawberries, juice dripping down her wrists. Karen's defense fell apart faster than her fake composure. The judge didn't even need much time to deliberate. "This is a clear case of trespassing, theft, and false accusation," he said firmly. "Case dismissed with counter damages awarded to the defendant." I won. Not just the case, but my peace. Karen was ordered to pay my legal fees plus restitution for the stolen produce. But what truly satisfied me was watching her walk out of that courtroom with her head down, paparazzi-style whispers following her all the way to the parking lot. The same HOA members who once backed her now avoided eye contact like she carried the plague. A week later, she resigned as HOA president for health reasons. The strawberries ripened beautifully that season, untouched, sweet, and safe. Every time I bit into one, I thought about karma's sense of humor. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Comment below.